And good day. Well, I thought we'd start this week's video with what is a aircraft I always wanted to purchase, and so I did, so we'd have something new to look at today. And this is the Douglas A-26 Invader. Premium aircraft. I took a little bit of time learning how to use this, a little more time getting the crew up to 2 points. It's new aircraft, and then I thought I'd spend a little bit of time with this and try to get a good video, which I did. It only took me about 4 or 5 times, but what the heck. Alright, so we are in a tier 5-6 game. This is a tier 6 aircraft, and we're coming up on our first bombing run. Going ahead and lining up on the targets here. You have 8, well, actually more than that, but essentially 4 drops of 100-pound bombs, which I find that choice to be very interesting and inaccurate. Now you'll notice at this particular tier, a lot of the aircraft that will oppose you, this is primarily tier 5, so we're going to have a truth in advertising moment here, don't do well against this aircraft. That being said, I do have a tier 6, a couple of tier 6 opponents in here. One guy did himself one hell of a job here, 13,000 points by the time he's done. Guy's name is Sky Pilot, so a tip of the hat to him. After playing with this aircraft quite a bit, I have come to the conclusion that the higher you get this aircraft, the better off and happier you're going to be. After that, it's just a matter of speccing the aircraft out, spending a little time with it, and then you should be a lot happier with the results. Do not get low with it. It's 1,200 point hit point plane, so that's not going to work out terribly well for you. And that meta has come and gone, mostly due to the fact that you used to be able to take a medium bomber, get down to 200 feet, and just have a heyday. And obviously they fixed that about a year ago. Now you have to actually fly a bomber like a bomber. Well, what do you know? So you'll notice that I come in at higher altitude now. Line up, drop your bombs. And you get pretty good effects. This is not an aircraft, however, that uptiers very well. You notice I've got a guy on me here. I'm using the 4 turrets, or the 4 guns and the 2 turrets, I should say, and he quickly loses interest. Alright, lining up again. And here he comes again. No, that's a bomber. Alright. And I noticed this fellow coming in on me, low on health, and runs into a 1200 HP, 1200 hit point aircraft. Not real bright. Okay, so we'll head on over to the airfield here, work that over a little bit. And again, you notice the guy coming in. And at this level, Again, he loses interest real quickly in pursuing me. We'll line up again. Now this is an aircraft that does not up-tier very well at all. I'm sorry, that's just my experience to date. Your mileage may vary, but in my experience, it did not do terribly well. This aircraft also has a 20-second turn time on it, which is not bad. Maybe I just spent too much time with the XF90, but you know, it's about 5 seconds slower in a 360 than your generic boom and zoom, and I have a pretty good time with it. Now, when you get in a 6-7 match and there's only a few sixes in it, this is not a great aircraft to be in because A, it doesn't have a lot of points, B, it doesn't get that much altitude, and the defensive fire is not all that one could hope for. Now, as you get more points in your gunner, that may change. Also, when you find yourself in a 5-6 match and it's primarily fives, altitude is your friend. By the end of this game, I literally was not having to contend with fighters anymore. However, as you'll see in the towards the end of the video, the AA guns do account for me. You may want to invest a little bit in camo paint and anything that gives you some defense against AA guns. They are going to extend your time. Though if you play bombers a lot, you're going to know that you and AA guns just are not going to get along terribly well. Okay, making a final run on this fellow here, and we control both the missile bases now, so they got them first. We'll just move along. And you notice at 8,000, almost 9,000 feet, I'm just not getting a whole lot of fighter opposition left because they can't get to you. One fellow is coming up for me. I think that's Sky Pilot again, but the aircraft speed at altitude is pretty impressive, especially at this tier. Alright, come back for another run. Try to pick a few more off. I'm pretty low on health at this point, but we'll go ahead and try to get a couple off here anyway. We're out of bombs. One of the nice things about the aircraft is the speed of the reload on the bombs. Now, had I been a smart puppy and come in from the beginning of the game at 85 to 9,200 feet, I would have had a longer run. And that, folks, is all she wrote. But that's okay. The game is well in hand at this point, and there's no particular reason to worry about it much. Observations on the aircraft as it plays in the game is this is a real nice tier 6, especially if you get a 5-6 game. When you start talking a 6-7 game, the heavy fighters get to be a lot more ferocious. This is a lot more difficult aircraft to play. The reasons for that, the firepower simply just isn't up to really defending the aircraft. But even in a 6-7 tier match, you're going to be happier if you stay up high than if you go lower. And as your gunner and your pilot increase, it gets to be a little harder to catch. That should mitigate with some time. Now, this is a brand new aircraft with a brand new crew, so, you know, this is kind of the worst of all worlds. I haven't obviously got it up to elite and, you know, started super optimizing everything either. So, this is about as what you could expect starting off if you start off with a new crew. If you have a better bomber crew, by all means use it. You'll be a happier experience for you. Okay, so we either killed or assisted killing some 13 ground targets. Obviously, we want a ramming attack. Not bad. And the experience wasn't bad for it. And I didn't do bad. Again, you'll see that Sky Pilot 1 did very well in there, and we had a good experience ourselves. Okay, so historically, how does this aircraft fit in? Well, it kind of doesn't. And here's the reason why. The aircraft is a late model aircraft, and you can tell that by the clamshell opening to the cockpit. Earlier ones had the roof on it, and then the loadout is not at all what you would expect from a Sky Raider. This was an aircraft that came in late war. In fact, it was still being used in the Korean War, and it was also being used in the Vietnam War. It was a terrific aircraft, 351 mile an hour top speed. It carried about 6 tons of bombs and rockets. It could actually be outfitted with 4 tons of internal bombs and then carried 10 rockets. It also carried 8, not 6, in later variant 50 caliber machine guns, and then an additional 6 in the wings. So the aircraft is kind of underpowered for what it should have been, but that's my take on the aircraft. And I hope you all have a great day. Please stand by for a little announcement on my products. That being said, remember to support my channel. You can do so very easily. Go on Amazon, look for Prince of Change and A Changing Tide, Jeff W. Long, everything you need right there on Amazon, and you can pick up a wonderful book and support the channel at the same time. Listen, I really want to take this time to thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the plane and my presentation. I always look forward to your comments. Bye-bye.